A few weeks ago, I signed up for a D&D 2024 game, and this is a regular table on the internet. This is not an optimization game, but I'm still gonna optimize. I'm playing a 2024 land druid. This is my first 2024 character. Very exciting stuff. I'm already playing something powerful. In the party, we have a beast barbarian, a fighter playing some dungeon dudes homebrew subclass, and a fighter 1 gulak. They're all using the 2024 rules, by the way. We're 4 people in total. The campaign started at level 1, and we're going all the way to level 11. All of this information I shared is important for creating the build, because maybe we can combo stuff with each other. This is a team game. Optimization never ends with just your character. For example, at tier 2, me and the Gulak can combo Plant Growth and Hunger of Adar together. Why is that good? It's very simple. Plant Growth is massive. It's a 100-foot radius sphere. Creatures moving through that area must spend 4 feet of movement for every 1 feet it moves. And Hunger of Adar is difficult terrain at a 20-foot radius. That means it stacks with Plant Growth. Plant Growth isn't difficult terrain. Very important. If we do that combo together, that's an insanely strong no-save shutdown that does damage over time. We're microwaving, sort of. The Hunger of Adar will wreck the creatures in it because it's insanely hard to get out of it. They barely have any speed, they're being peppered by the Warlock with Repelling Blast and Push Mastery, and I have my Ray of Frost, which reduces speed. If the enemy somehow slowly gets out, then I don't think it matters much. The damage is already done. They're probably bloodied and they didn't do anything in the first few rounds. The fight is basically over. We're in the cleanup phase. The marshals can step in and wipe the floor. If I'm wrong, then I'll throw a fireball. I told the Warlock as soon as he gets 3rd level spells, if he demands a short rest, then everyone is short resting for him because he's so extremely important for shutdown. Me, well, I can keep on going for a very long time. I have Spike Growth, Entangle, Plant Growth. Eventually, I get Natural Recovery, which is kind of like Arcane Recovery. And lastly, I'm dedicated to crafting scrolls. Right now, I'm focusing on creating Healing Word scrolls, but I'll go to Entangle eventually. Kobold, when is the video starting? I just want to get stuff across first so people know what I'm thinking. Quickly on the marshals. These are melee marshals. I don't really know how to combo off them besides maybe getting commands. It's always tricky with them, but I will be making them better with Pass Without Trace, Draconic Cry, and healing them with good berries as soon as the fight is over. So I take great care of them, but I swear to God, if I see an opportunity to do over 200 total damage to the enemies with a fireball and the marshals are in the way, I am fireballing them. The thing is, if we stretch the rounds, the marshals are going to take more damage if I don't fireball, because there's so many enemies, so I might as well just get it over with quickly with just a fireball. If 2 is needed, then I'll throw 2. Maybe the marshals can dodge, they have advantage on dex saves. But that's if they're low on HP. Even if one of them gets down by my fireball, I can bonus action pull out my scroll and cast Healing Word. It's not a problem. When the fight is over, I'll heal them with tons of good berries, Land's Aid, and the aid spell and so on. I take great care of my melee marshals. They're my friends. One other thing, at level 8, I can combo with the fighter. He has some sort of feature that lets me reaction move off my turn. That makes my Conjure Woodland being stronger, but we'll talk about that later. Anyways, welcome to Pack Tactics, where we fireball our friends. Fireball and Natural Recovery is the only reason why I picked this subclass. I'm not joking. Let's start with background. I picked Sage. It kind of aligns with my background. I can't really tell you much about it because the players I'm playing with will probably watch this video. I want to keep my background a secret. It's part of the fun in roleplay. It also suits my needs with ability scores, feats, and skill proficiencies. The feat I get is Magic Initiate. I picked Toll the Dead, Ray of Frost, and Shield. Originally, I wanted to go custom background to get alerts, but I don't know this party. I still don't know how they play, to be honest. We've only gone through 1 dungeon, and that was a level 1 dungeon. You can't really judge with that. So I decided to play safe and grab Shield spell. The 2 damage cantrips are for versatility. I grabbed Ray of Frost to combo with the Warlock with Repelling Blast, and also keep enemies in the AoEs for longer. And Toll the Dead, well, for obvious reasons. Most damage, forces saving throws. I get proficiency in Arcana and History. The skills I pick are Perception and Animal Handling. I sadly can't pick Stealth proficiency, so I pick Animal Handling instead. We have another party member with Survival. I forget who, but really I'm the one that should have the Survival proficiency, because my Wisdom score is high. But whatever, we're not really optimizing that hard. Luckily for me, already Animal Handling has done so much. I've befriended like 3 dinosaurs, and I won a dinosaur race. And we're not properly in the jungle yet, so I'm already really happy I picked Animal Handling. In the jungle, I can befriend birds and other dinosaurs, stuff like that. And I have Speak with Animals, and already, I've probably cast that more than any other spell so far. Actually, that's not true, it's Good Berries. Well, anyways, I am fully taking advantage of Animal Handling and Speak with Animals. I am role-playing with all the animals. DMs love it when you roleplay with animals. I also got 50 gold, which goes into armor and mount. More on that later. My stats with point buy is 8 strength, 14 dexterity, 16 constitution, 10 intelligence, 17 wisdom, and 8 charisma. The +1 went into constitution and +2 into wisdom. The species I picked is the new kobold. Haha, kobold, you don't have pack tactics! Sadly, pack tactics is not a good feature on a druid. Anyways, I'm small, I have 30-foot speed, dark vision, 60 feet, draconic cry that gives the marshals advantage on all their attacks. If I find out that the marshals do a lot of damage, I might dip cleric just to get commands to get them to do even more damage and get more out of draconic cry, but sadly power attacks are removed from the game. I also get kobold legacy, by the way. Originally, I wanted to get stealth proficiency through here, but I had to pick up draconic sorcery and pick up minor illusion. The warlock really wanted me to use this, so I'm just doing it for him. I'm mostly just using this spell to show pictures of like, oh, here's what a polar bear looks like. And then I make a little wax statue of a polar bear in my hand. I try to make sure to spam this a lot in roleplay just to make the conversations more interesting. Also, it's very cartoony and I really enjoy that. But kobold, why did you go kobold? I really should have gone human so I could have picked up alert, but I don't know. I just wanted to play kobold. I really like playing them, they're so much fun. You're scaly. No, I'm a druid. Super scaly. Yes, that's right. Speaking of Druid, my plan is to rush to level 5 and 6 for Fireball and Natural Recovery right away. I said I might dip Cleric, but only if the Marshals do a lot of damage, but we'll see what happens. I sadly won't have proficiency in Constitution to secure my concentration, but at level 1 and 2, I'm only casting Good Berries and throwing cantrips really. Then when Entangle or Fog Cloud is needed, I'll cast those. Other than that, I'm not doing much with my concentration. At level 3, I'm concentrating on Pass Without Trace a lot and throwing Spike Growth from time to time. That's when I really need to secure my concentration. It's just a level away, so it's not a big deal. Because I picked Animal Handling as my skill proficiency, Druidic feature is important to me. I know I mentioned this before, but I actually managed to befriend a Deinonychus, and I'm using this dinosaur as my mount. I got this mount at level 2. That is huge. So yeah, if you're playing a druid, do not underestimate druidic feature. It's not a flavor feature. Speak to the animals. The animals are your friends. You're a druid. How do you befriend them? Well, they're animals. What do animals want? Basically 2 things. One of them is food. Let's not talk about the other one. Back to food. You have good berries. If there's a type of food they want, you just make good berries taste like that. Now, getting a predator to eat good berries is kind of hard because they're little berries. But you can shove a berry into one of your rations and then give it to the predator. You have to be very simple with these creatures. They're very easy to convince, especially if you give them food. You reward them with food when you get the right behavior. Very simple. As for Primal Order, I pick Warden. I want medium armor. Cantrips I pick through Druid are Guidance and Thorn Whip. Thorn Whip is for AoEs and hazards. Maybe I can pull them down a set of stairs. Enemies tripping down the stairs isn't raw, but I've seen a lot of DMs allow it. It's creative. I'm on a mount, so I'm probably never gonna use this. I don't know. First level spells, Entangle, Goodberry, Healing Word, and Fog Cloud. That Fog Cloud is gonna be swapped around a lot. Like, if the party is struggling with water for some reason, probably won't happen, but then I'll just prepare, create, or destroy water, for example. If we're going to a crypt, I'll swap it out for protection from good and evil, and buy components if I can. Stuff like that. I have a Fog Cloud scroll, so I'm not really worried about pack tactics. One other thing, this DM runs things pretty rules as written, but they're letting me do really fun things for roleplay potential, so I think Animal Friendship is going to be really good. Rules as written, this sucks because even if the T-Rex is charmed by you, it will still attack your friends. But I think this DM is gonna let me calm down the T-Rex. I haven't fully made up my mind yet. And besides, I'm super low level. I don't want to mess with a T-Rex. Kobold, are you gonna try to get a T-Rex mount? Oh my god, that would be so sick. I don't know if I can convince them to be my mounts. Maybe my friends, but not my mounts. I'm absolutely gonna try though if I see one. Anyways, now for starting equipment. I had 100 gold at character creation. I bought scale mail, component pouch, riding saddle, mule, and dagger. That's 95 gold in total. The reason why I didn't buy a shield is because they're so easy to get. Right now I have 16 AC. When I cast a shield spell, I get 21. When I do find a shield, it's 18. And then when I cast a shield spell, it's 23. And keep in mind, I have really good mobility. I'm using a mount. Mounts can dash and disengage without using any of my actions. So I'm playing super duper safely. As we went through the level 1 dungeon, I got a bullseye lantern from a harper. After the dungeon, I got 300 gold and bought calligrapher supplies. Right now, the mule is just a pack mule. I like having beasts of burden. I also found a cursed shield of missile attraction in the dungeon. What? At level 1? Yeah, that's a super good item for me because I'm using mounts. We also found something else. That went to the barbarian. I forgot what it was. And we got 3 scrolls. Jump, Fog Cloud, and Thunderwave. All of them went to me. Life is good. Kobold, that's crazy good loot at level 1. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Anyways, level 2. For spells, I pick Absorb Elements. I don't think it's going to come up in play anytime soon, but it's nice to have just in case. I also get Wild Shape. The 4 beast forms I pick are Crab, Lizard, Giant Badger, and Panther. Crab is for water stuff. Panther is for climb speed and running away. If my mount dies, I can bonus action turn into a panther and run 50 feet. And if I dash, that's 100 feet. I can end my turn behind cover. Then on the next round, when it's my turn again, I just turn back to my original form. That's a bonus action again. Keep in mind the climb speed. If I really want to, I can climb a building and then shoot down. But I'm not going to do that because I have a mount. Giant Badger is for burrow. Lizard is for memes. Admittedly, I actually haven't put too much thought into this. I could probably have picked better animals, but I don't think I'll be transforming much. Maybe I'll use the badger the most because setting up pit traps can be pretty easy, and it's easy to do in a jungle. Maybe while the party sets up camp, I can dig some pits. I don't know. The other feature I got is Wild Companion, which lets me summon a Find Familiar using a spell slot or a wild shape slot. If I turn into a lizard, I can ride the Owl Familiar. That's very early game flight. At level 3, if I pick Moon Druid, then I can default kill with it. As you can see, I have a ton of utility at level 2 already. That's what makes Druid super duper fun to play. Now for something really important. I really want you to pay attention now. If I'm traveling safely on a ship, cart, or waiting for something, maybe I'm waiting for the long rest cooldown. Yeah, long rest is a cooldown. Or maybe the adventuring day ends early. Or I straight up have downtime. Then I'm scribing scrolls, and right now, it's just healing word. I'm not worried about upgrading my armor right now. I have a really good shield that protects my mounts. And my mount has quite a lot of HP at this level. Level 3, I'm Land Druid. I already made a video about the subclass itself in more detail, but I'll repeat some of it here. I'm picking Tropical for now. Not only does it fit the setting, but I get web, and web is good. If I'm in a fight with giant frogs or something that can jump over my spike growth, then I use web instead. If I see flying enemies, I'll use web. There's things web can do that spike growth can't. I also get Land's Aid. On a single target, that's 4.9 average damage. I'm also taking con save into account, so 50%. If I hit 3 targets, that's 14.7 average damage. This AoE is a 10-foot radius sphere. You also don't need to worry about blasting your friends. You choose the creatures in this sphere. Then after the blast, you can heal someone in that area for 2d6. That's 7 average. I currently don't have any blast options with range, so this will make do for now in terms of blasting. And at the same time, it will heal one of the marshals. As soon as I hit level 5, this is going to scale very badly, but I'll still use it all the time. It's using my wild shape slots, which is actually quite significant because I get 1 slot back on a short rest. If I'm out of hit dice, I can treat this as a second win feature out of combat to heal myself. Or I can use it on the marshal who's out of hit dice. That's probably gonna happen on brutal days. I highly doubt I'll run out of hit dice. I also plan on casting this before taking a short rest, especially if we haven't spent any wild shape slots. This helps save a potential hit dice or a resource like my good berries or a healing potion. Let's not undersell this, it's always useful even when blasting is bad. Spell picks, pass without trace and spike growth. I'll unprepare Fog Cloud. I already have a scroll for Fog Cloud for emergency situations. I will be concentrating on pass without trace a lot because surprise is still super good. We have advantage on initiative while enemies have disadvantage. Then when we win initiative, we focus fire on the most important target to try to kill them immediately so they don't get a turn. That's the plan. Both melee marshals have some range, so I'm very happy with that. We'll see how it plays out though. As for scrolls, I'm still making healing word scrolls. I want at least 3 of them in total. Kobold, what about crafting magic items? I made this character before I got the DMG, so I had no idea about the new crafting. Druids do naturally get proficiency in herbalism kit, so I can craft resistance potions. But I don't think that will happen anytime soon. Level 4, feat. I pick Warcaster. The first and second bullet points are all that I care about. If I decide to go for that cleric dip for command, then I can take advantage of that third bullet point. Command Flee triggers opportunity attack, so I can cast Toll the Dead or something if I'm in melee. Cantrip pick, Shape Water. With an ice cube, I can trigger traps with it. In a jungle, I can probably bribe people with it. They've probably never seen a giant ice cube in their life. I wish I thought about that sooner. I wouldn't have picked Thornwhip then. Well, whatever, I have it now. Spells. Aid. I made a video about that a long time ago and it's still relevant. I'll be rest casting with it, which is approved by the DM. If you don't know how rest casting works, link in the description. I just recently made a video about it. I'll also use this spell when multiple party members are unconscious because it does raise their current hit points too. I love this spell, it's super underrated. One more thing, and this is tradition. Guys, you have to do this. Yeah, very important, or else Gator will be very mad at you. Beast form. Change crab into crocodile. Reflavor the crocodile into a gator. The official art is a gator. That's not a crocodile. Yeah, they never fixed this in the new book. Gator was pissed about this. They don't know their animals. Wizard's bad. As for scribing, I probably moved on to Entangle. Level 5. Fireball! The build is now online. I'm switching my circle to Arid or whatever it's called. That list. The one that gets Fireball. Fireball right now is at its hottest it will ever be. It's at its absolute best at this level. What I mean by that is eventually Fireball scales off even when you upcast it, but it stays relevant for a very long time, which makes my job very easy. I'm concentrating on Pass Without Trace all the time and casting Fireball when needed. There will be plenty of opportunities. I'm still waiting for the Warlock to get 3rd level spells, but that comes next level. And I have Fireball, so I'm fine. I also get Wild Resurgence. I'll use it to get a shield slot back or something. I'm gonna have a lot of 1st level resources. Keep in mind, I'm scribing 1st level scrolls a lot. Spell picks, Plant Growth, because Plant Growth isn't concentration. I can combo it myself with Plant Growth plus Spike Growth. I don't really need the Warlock, but I want the Warlock involved because it makes it a lot easier to set everything up in one round. I don't like anything that's a 2-round setup. That gives the enemies time. The other spell I'm picking is Conjure Animals. I hate this new version of the spell. I think it's super lame that it doesn't conjure creatures, but whatever. The new spell is really good. I can use it at range, it lasts 10 minutes, so in a dungeon crawl it will last multiple fights. And at higher levels, I can throw fireballs in between when needed, and that will stack up to a lot of damage. I really wish this spell did half damage. I'm still scribing Entangle Scrolls. If I don't have half plate by now, then I'll save money. If the marshals don't have proper armor by now, then I'll stop scribing and give them my money. We gotta get better armor now. At level 6, I get an extra wild shape slot, and I get natural recovery, which is 2 features baked into 1 feature. I get to throw 1 extra fireball for free, and I get a Druid version of Arcane Recovery. 10 out of 10 feature. It's super duper powerful. I have the most resources out of all the Druids in the game, and I have the best spells. Spells are better than features, remember that. Spell pick, Revivify. If I have it in a scroll, then I'll pick Locate Object to detect magic items in dungeons easier. I do that after we've cleared the dungeon. Also, by the way, at level 6, my Warlock friend finally gets 3rd level spells. We can finally make big combos together. Very exciting stuff. Other than that, Pass Without Trace and Fireball. I'm still creating Entangle Scrolls. Level 7, Elemental Fury. I pick Potent Spellcasting. This boosts my Firebolt damage. Cool. 4th level spells, Polymorph. There are 2 marshals in the party. As soon as I see one of them drop to very low HP, I'll polymorph them. Boom, Giant Ape, 157 temp HP. This ape does 28.65 DPR with its fists against a creature with 18 AC. That's 60% chance to hit. Throwing a rock, it's 19.52 DPR. This will probably be a DPR gain for one of the marshals. We're level 7. But really, the thing I care about is just keeping the marshal alive. DPR is beneath me. I'm a full caster. What, do you think I'm a moon druid? An animal? No. I can also just use my healing word scrolls to maybe yo-yo heal, but most enemies have multi-attack right now, so they're gonna focus fire if you're annoying. That gets the marshal killed. That's why polymorph is safer. I'm still doing the same things as before, with Pass Without Trace and fireballs, and then once in a while, me and the warlock combo off each other. If the party is completely fine, then I'll just upcast fireball. I love level 7 D&D. That's where the game is at its best. As for scrolls, I'll probably start scribing Pass Without Trace scrolls, but it really depends on how many scrolls I have. Level 8, Feats, Alerts. This is a super duper late alert. I'm embarrassed to grab this here. If I picked human, this wouldn't have been a problem. With my Find Familiar and my party, I have tons of opportunities to go first in initiative. The team is going to let me. Easy setup for shutdowns and fireball. If spell power is not needed, then I'll just cantrip. Spells, Conjure Woodland Beings. This is my Spirit Guardians, and on a mount I can hit tons of creatures with it. If the mount dies, I can dodge and disengage to try to get more creatures affected by it. Dodging with Conjure Woodland Beings is fantastic tanking. The fighter told me he had a feature where he can force me to move off my turn, so that means we can trigger Woodland Beings multiple times in one round. That stacks up to a lot of damage. I don't know how often we'll do it though. I think the combos I'm doing with the Warlock is better because of range and bigger AoE. But there will be times where I will cast this. Let's update Wild Shape. I'm replacing Panther with Giant Eagle and Lizard with Owl. Party members can ride me when I'm a Giant Eagle. My AC sucks, so I'm never gonna use this in combat. I will be using Owl in combat. Wild Shape is a bonus action cast, and I'll be treating this as a Misty Step feature. If I get surrounded or need better positioning, I can action cast a spell, bonus action turn into an owl, and use my flyby feature to get get away. Flyby doesn't trigger opportunity attacks. This is a passive feature. Then I fly somewhere safe or behind full cover. If I need extra speed like 120 feet, then instead of casting a spell, I'll use an action to dash. On my next turn, I can turn back to my original form. Scrolls, I'm still focusing on Pass Without Trace. Level 9, just spells. I get Wall of Stone for my circle spells, which is something I'll be using a lot. That means a little less fireball. In dungeons, I can easily split encounters with this by blocking doors, for example. This is my version of Wall of Force. It's weaker than Wall of Force, but it's still very good. There's a lot of directions I can go right now. Level 9 Druid is nuts, and it requires a lot of thinking. Like for memes, I can awaken my mount and my pack mule, but I need a lot of downtime and money for that. I don't know if I'll do it, but I do want a messenger bird though. Now here's something very interesting. My DM is letting me use planar binding, and I know for a fact Twingas are in the campaign. I want them so badly. They're so powerful. I made a whole video about them. They give out charms every day, which is more resources, and they can cast Pass Without Trace at will. I really hope I can convince my party to get a few, but I have a feeling it's not gonna happen. I don't really need the party to do this because they have like 5 HP. I can knock them unconscious with my polymorph giant ape. Right now, I don't know anything, so there's no point in planning, but if I find out where they are, oh boy, I know what I'm doing. The DM is probably gonna watch this and laugh. To optimize harder, I will find them with Commune with Nature. I'll even prepare Locate Creature. They're not getting away from me. I will find them. The only thing I'm really worried about is triggering a trap or something and they all just die. So I think I'll just make them Charm Makers exclusively. I think my party members are gonna hate this. Not because it's strong, although it is really strong. It's because it's straight up super evil. This is the sort of stuff I think about all the time. Then when I share my ideas on the internet, people are like, no, that's not intended. No sane DM would allow this. But you'll be surprised what DMs allow. With what I'm doing with the Twingas adds a lot of roleplay, a lot of drama. That's interesting. Having these Twingas benefits the party, but it's really messed up to do this. But anyways, I'm picking Anti-Life Shell for this level. I think at the end of the campaign, there's going to be a lot of undead. So Anti-Life Shell might be a mistake. Still though, when the enemies aren't undead or constructs, this is an auto-win spell if the enemies don't have range. The melee marshals will just sit in the back and throw things. We default kill. It's so easy. I'm still scribing Pass Without Trace scrolls. Level 10, Nature's Ward. I'm immune to the poison condition. And I have fire resistance. As for spells, Transmute Rock is a big deal. It doesn't require concentration. And there's tech with it, but I'm in a jungle and I think I can make do with plant growth. So I'll have planar binding prepared in case we stumble into some cool Pokemon. Cantrip, Mold Earth. I can make cover. Level 11. This is where the campaign ends. Long video. I think at the end I'll grab heal. This is an emergency button like Polymorph. I stopped scribing here. It's the end of the game. That's everything. I can go all the way to 17th level for this video, but I feel like the video's already too long, and I'm going to end it at tier 3. Most campaigns end here too, so it's kind of fitting. I hope you liked my build and what I'm thinking in general. Obviously, I could have made this stronger, like for example, I could have gone human. But with my picks, scribing, and what to do with my features and spells, I'm well on my way to godhood anyways. End of video. I hope you liked this video because this is our last ever D&D 2024 video. In the year 2024. Yeah, we wish you all a happy new year. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you'll join us for more adventures in 2025. See you next year. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.